Alright, hello class. In this video, we are going to talk about the writing process. The writing process is a 5-step plan to help you improve your writing. If you follow this plan, your writing will improve. Today, I am going to teach you about the writing process with a little help from SpongeBob SquarePants. So, there are two kinds of writing. The first kind of writing is short and or unplanned writing. This is like line messages to your friends, or maybe it's the answers in a comprehension check in our reading on a class on Tuesday. You don't think about the writing for a long time, and you don't need to plan many things. And it's usually not very long, only a couple of lines. The second type of writing is long and or more planned. This type of writing you should do for your journals, maybe an essay, or a book someday if you want to write one. And the writing process is 5 steps. So the first step of the writing process is brainstorming. The second step is organizing. The next one is writing, revising, and finally rewriting. But today, and for today's journal, we're going to just focus on brainstorming and organizing. Number 1 and number 2 are the most important. So let's talk about the writing process with today's journal. So if you go to today's journal, you'll see that the journal for today is about describing your favorite childhood memory, and it should be a minimum of 75 words, more than before. We want to talk about what the memory is, how old we were when this happened, where, who you were with, and 3 reasons it's your favorite childhood memory. So, first step is brainstorming. So what is brainstorming? Brainstorming is like thinking of all of your ideas and then putting them on paper. So we know today's topic is favorite childhood memory. Well, I have many favorite childhood memories. So maybe it will help me to brainstorm and think of my favorite. The first childhood memory I can think of is winning the championship for running when I was 11 years old. This is a great memory, but I can think of more also. The next is when I performed in the musical Les Mis as a student. I had a lot of fun. And the next best memory from my childhood is when I was my favorite character, Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story, for Halloween as a kid. I think Buzz Lightyear Halloween is my best childhood memory. And to help, you can also write more small ideas too. Like our journal asks for 3 reasons. So maybe I can brainstorm some 3 reasons for why Buzz Lightyear Halloween is my favorite childhood memory. Like he was my favorite character, I was making the costume and it was very fun, and I got to spend time with my mom and dad. Of course, you can write the reasons for the other ideas also, like running city championship, Les Mis, and other ideas. But you don't have to. You only need to do it for the idea you pick. So step 2, organizing. Now we have our ideas and a good step 1, but we need to organize them. So how do we do that? Well, first, we should remember the goals for the journal. The goals are 75 words or more, and how old we were, where we were, who we were with, and 3 reasons. And also we have to ask ourselves, what order makes sense? Is it better to give the 3 reasons why it's my favorite childhood memory first, and then talk about how, where, and who? Or is it better to talk about how, where, who, and when, and then the 3 reasons? I think this one makes more sense. So we should do this. So now step 3 should be the easy part. If you do step 1 and step 2, you are ready to write. The next step is not a step we are going to do today, but it is very important. So let's talk about it. Step 4 is revising, and you will do revising for big projects. For example, maybe an essay where you submit 1 copy and then you get corrections, and then you submit another copy later. Step 4 is what happens between copy 1 and the final copy. So revising is reading the paper and correcting the mistakes and making it better. And maybe the revising happens from your teacher, like me or Olga. Or, in some cases, maybe your classmates will do revising for you. They will read your paper and give you corrections you can do. Or maybe you will do it alone. And if you do it alone, I suggest reading it out loud to yourself. Many times when we read in our heads and not out loud, we correct mistakes without thinking. So it helps if you read your paper out loud to yourself. And finally, in revising, it's important to correct not just grammar. Grammar is important, but there are other important things in writing, like the content and the style. So be sure to revise everything. And finally, the final step is rewriting. So you use your feedback from step 4 in revising, and you rewrite your paper. And that is the writing process. It will help your writing be better and better, and I think you will find it easier to write more and longer things the more you follow this process.